Hey, my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope everybody is having a decent and civil week. If your week is anything like mine, y'all are laughing your heads off because I'm telling jokes. Not even to Thursday yet, and it has just been a week. However, Taurus, this is going to be your February 2020 monthly reading. See what we got going on with you for the month, and with me too for that. So we're going to do our usual enhanced reading with both decks. And I'll clarify with whatever oracle cards come to mind. A reminder, I do my cards straight up, but don't do reversals. Thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed. I keep forgetting to put the banner up. I promise I'm going to do it today or tomorrow. For the month of February, I'm doing $10 readings on love. So hit me up at tarotatarot@gmail, if you will, if you want to get a $10 reading. We're still trying to figure out. I think I'm gonna just pick a price and stick with it. I obviously have some folks that are involved in this behind the scenes, and so everybody got to put their 2 cents in. But at the end of the day, I'm just like you and living on a budget, and so sometimes coming up with $35, $40, $50, $60, and I know in some cases way more than that for a reading is not always practical. So we're working on it. All right, Taurus, let's see what we got going on with you. This is a reminder. I do my cards straight up, but don't do reversals. So let's see what we got going on with the overall energy. Ooh, some deception and envy. What the hell? And rejoice in celebration. For this first week, well, let's see. Let's go from February 5th or 6th to March 6th. So 4 rows of 3. So this week that we're in, truth, memories of love, movement, choices, and decisions. For the upcoming week, conflict and defeat, solar plexus chakra or the I can chakra, triumph and success. Slide these over here real quick. For our third week, balance, suffering and silence. Oh, Jesus. And new beginnings. All right. And for the last week, and this is going to roll us into the first part of March, accelerated motion, discontent and boredom, and light. And let me say this about what's coming up off these cards. Just know they got more meaning. There's more plus to this. So deception and envy, I'm hearing is not just what you think it is. So let's see. Let's clarify all of this. So overall energy from the bottom of this deck, the King of Wands, and this is your top energy, and this is about the past. Hold that thought. Rejoice in celebration. Pulls the Fool card. Truth pulls the Queen of Cups. Memories of love pulls the 4 of Cups. Movement, choices, and decisions pulls the Death card. Conflict and defeat pulls the 2 of Cups. Solar plexus or I can chakra pulls the 8 of Wands. Okay. Triumphant success pulls the Sun card. Balance pulls the Magician. Suffering and silence pulls the Queen of Wands. New beginnings pulls the 7 of Cups. Accelerated motion pulls Ace of Swords. Discontent and boredom pulls the Emperor. And the light pulls the Judgment card. So, as usual, we can't just get one storyline. We got to have 200. There 3 or 4 different storylines here, maybe as many as 5. This is going to be one of the readings, and it feels just like the energy now. There's so much shit going on. None of all of this is probably going to apply to anybody, but chunks of this are going to apply to a lot of people. So eat the fish, leave the bones, as grandmama says, And let's just talk about this, because this is not all straightforward energy. There's a lot of mushing and mashing here. With the deception and envy, and the King of Wands, many of you are trying to move past situations that just haven't served you, particularly in love, but this has also got a little bit of resonation with work and business as well. Just not just the player, but just the overall cockiness of certain situations with certain people, their arrogance, and this is kind of on top of your energy, because you're trying to just shake this shit off and walk the fuck away from it. And so there you go, the deception and envy part. You may be dealing in this energy because the people around you are just doing everything they possibly can do to get you ready to just sharpen up your bull horns and just start going, folks. This is exactly where this energy is. So if you're feeling this way, on top of all the other emotions you're probably running through now, from anxiety to just pure angst and shit, just know this energy will clear itself. You don't have to do any magical, wonderful, nothing. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Just kind of cruise through it and just know there's a lot of haters. And if this is on top of your overall energy, you know this. If you don't know what you're feeling, this is what you're feeling. There's a lot of people hating on you right now, period. Just because you're a Taurus. A lot of people just, they ain't feeling it. You're doing too much, as they say. And it's not from your perspective that you're doing too much. Many of you are just trying to clear your situation so you can move forward. Many of you are just kind of stuck where you live. You're looking for another place to live. Some of you may have roommates, trying to get away from the roommates you got because they're stifling you. And all of this is about Uranus being in our sign and things forcing us to change. Even within ourselves, we start looking at shit that a year ago was wondrous, and now it's like, what the hell am I doing that shit for? So this is all up in your overall energy, and pretty much it's trying to let go of things that just aren't, it's too much instability. I'll put that like that, just like a fire. And the wind start blowing, it's just too much instability. And so a lot of you are dealing with this head on. Like I said, you don't have to do anything special. Just move through the energy. Try not to force anything. Try not to just do anything. Just go through the energy. Get the pieces that you need to get from it. Some of you may be alerted to people in your office that are trying to undermine you or undercut what you're doing. Just be mindful of that. Just be mindful of that. At the bottom end of your overall energy, the shit is really holding you down. A lot of you thinking about taking a risk. And this could be in a lot of different areas. You could be taking a risk to get into a relationship, a risk to get out of a relationship, a risk to get a new job, even taking the risk to pass up some shit and stay in your current job. This is the bottom end of your overall energy. At the end of it, you're trying to find people to collaborate with. And when you're doing something together with people, that in and of itself is a celebration. So a lot of you are debating this risk and who you want to collaborate with, and the energy is there. It's like you're seeking something fun, not the usual old rundown. Oh my God, I gotta go work and see these people. None of that. You're looking for something different. So this is kind of the energy that's moving you forward, whether you knowing it or not. The issue for a lot of you is taking the risk, and as Tauruses, that's not really our forte, because we like things to just be as they are. We're good. 6 o'clock news, 7 o'clock I Love Lucy, 8 o'clock Jeopardy. You know what I'm saying. We just like that consistency. And so when it comes to taking risks, it's really hard for us. And if you just think about the imagery, and then think about we're bulls. You didn't see a bull up on a high wire. Come on, for real. But as humans, in order to grow, this is what you got to do. So I know many of you are thinking about it and trying to calculate where it would be a good place or time to take whatever risk. Once again, I'm going to say the same thing that I said on the front end of the energy. Go with the flow. Don't get stuck on shit. Just go with the flow. Don't force anything. Don't do anything that's major. especially rolling into Mercury retrograde energy. Retrograde starts, I believe, on the 16th or 17th of this month and goes through March 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that. Not as emotionally charged as the last Mercury retrograde we had in Scorpio back in November. This is going to be more about situations kind of cycling through. You may get one more peek see at something from the past, and some of you may be in an energy where you want to entertain going back to that person. Others of you will get a peek see at where your past is going, if that makes any sense. Many of you run into folks to find out, they're often doing something else. That could be an ex or former friends, however that's resonating with you. When we get into this week's energy with the Queen of Cups on top of the Truth card, emotional processing, emotional IQ, all that shit. But at the bottom of all of that, it's about how are you processing your emotions. And some of you may just be going through things, just looking at what's triggering, you to do certain things or say certain things, or even go as far as to say crave certain things. And cravings is not just food, it can be a whole lot of shit. But dealing with how you emotionally process something, and some of you may need to go stand out there and look in the window, stare up at the sky, and start dealing with your own shit. I'm just saying. And trying to find your truth, what you know to be the truth. And when you do this, the emotional problem solving and processing and all that shit becomes a little easier. Many of you are probably still kind of stuck in some 2019 energy. You may have someone that is just not trying to let anything go, and they may need to be hearing the 2020 truth. I'm just saying, that could be the case for some of you. As we get into this week, memories of love with the Four of Cups. And when I was shuffling before I got on camera, this popped up. I was like, what is it? What is this? Discontent, boredom, which we got on the board. But that's exactly what it is. Many of you, you may have someone hanging around and they're not really doing anything one way or the other. You know they're there. They're stalking you. And you may even talk to them on occasion. This is not no serious everyday, oh baby, I love you. No, not that. But just that kind of, hey, how you doing? What you doing today? That kind of shit. This is the energy. And for some of you, like I said, it's an ex. Or it could just be because you're going through the emotional problem solving and processing that it's just taking you back, thinking about old relationships. Of course, this is the right energy for that, with Mercury getting ready to go retrograde. For some of you, this is about your current relationship, and you may not be feeling fully fulfilled. Okay, all them F's. But just that, you may be feeling kind of out of sorts because whatever's going on in your relationship, the bits and pieces missing. Either emotionally, for some of you it may be sexually, for others of you it may be socially, but something in your relationship is just kind of like, damn, is this it? Is this all there is, really? And so it may have you thinking about old lovers, things that you used to do with an old lover. Again, like I said, some of you may encounter said old lover or lovers, getting ready to roll into Mercury retrograde energy. At the end of this week, movement, choices, decisions. So many of you are walking, walking to the light, that type shit. Many of you are walking away from, just what I said up here, knowing that, people have lied to you. Some people are jealous, envious of you, and they just, not just the player, it's the instability, the arrogant, just all up in the air type shit. Many of you, it's major energy, walking straight the fuck away from it and into the light and trying to do something better, make better decisions, make better choices, being better prepared to move on those decisions and choices, going through transformation. And we don't have a choice. Whatever the situation is for you, however it's resonating, we really don't have a choice in this, because Uranus, the universe, is telling us it's time to change. So while it may be painful for some of you to be leaving certain things behind, people, some of you may be leaving friends behind, you may be moving, going to school, got a job somewhere else, economy's better than where you are, whatever the situation may be, that can be a painful time. But just know you're moving into something bigger, better, brighter. Get to the second week with the conflict and defeat and the Lovers. There may be some upheaval next week with your partner, and that this is a couple spaces away from the communication card. Again, Mercury getting ready to go into retrograde, period. We're already in the shadow phase. So communications may be a bit sticky, and some of you, and not in its totality of feeling conflict and defeat, but you may just get to a point next week, you like, damn, really? I gotta say this shit again to you? And just be aware that you may be a little more easily agitated, especially where your lover is concerned. If you are paired, you don't necessarily have to be living together, but you just the fuck it. I don't feel like dealing with it. Leave me alone type energy. There's not really any indication from this that there's a breakup or that there's any kind of major disappointment, i.e. cheating on you, some other bullshit. But it's more about the foundation of your relationship and what happens between the two of you when, you're half-ass communicating, you don't really feel like being bothered, whatever. This is that kind of energy in combination. That's what that feels like. Next to that, the solar plexus or the I can, a lot of fast communications between you and someone else. And it seems like for some of you, this person may be at a distance temporarily, maybe on vacation or maybe dealing with some business somewhere else. This is not long-term, always live in another city type thing. This is somebody that is with you. They just aren't with you right at this moment. And so in that communication, talking about what you can do, what your capabilities are. For some of you, that conversation may be about, can you deal with a long distance relationship? No, maybe. With your truth in that. And see, that's the sun card, and that is sitting right next to the sun is just too much. But that's what that's about. What can you do? And that's a lot of quick communication. So you're going to be doing a lot of deep thinking and talking, but it's going to be at a much quicker pace. Because for some of you, whoever you're dealing with, they're trying to get this information out of you because they want to know how you feel about relationship, issues in relationships like distance. For some others of you, it may not just be about distance. It may be about kids and blending families. So this person, whoever this is and whoever this is resonating with, if you're in a relationship, the communication is going to be about what can I do? I can do this. I can do that. That type of energy. Yes, if you have kids, I can do that. Just saying, that's the energy. We get to the end of next week, triumphant success, and the sun card once again, the I can. But here, it's about standing up in your choices, standing up in your sun about the choices that you make so that you can be successful, especially where relationships are concerned. I don't know why this has got a lot of relationship energy on it, but especially where relationships are concerned, are you really being the authentic you? And this is major energy, and that is sitting underneath the death card. It's no mistake. And that sitting underneath the take a risk card ain't no mistake. Hello? Standing up about and being your authentic self. Yeah, so your little dot in the middle is a little off. So what? That's you. That's good. That's what gives you character. That's good. That brings about success. If you run around trying to be somebody you're not, trying to do some shit you can't do, you're not going to see this. You just aren't. So just as you move through the month, just be who you are. Be the sunflower you that you are. I'm just saying. When we get closer to the end of the month, the Magician and the Balance. Some of you may need to pull some resources up out your behind to keep and maintain balance financially. That's where this is resonating. A lot of you may, at the end of the month, find out that you're not getting as much back in income tax as you thought you were. I'm just saying. Others of you may find out there may be some errors on W-2s if you're here in America. If you invest, you may be having to deal with resources at that level. This is major arcana. It's about bringing all of this into balance. So if there is an error or if there is some faulty, fraudulent shit going on, just saying, this is the time to check it out and bring those things into balance, and really working on bringing your money into balance. So whoever that is resonating with, for a lot of you, this is just about your taxes and making sure that you have everything completed. Balance sheet, come on, work with me, people. Yeah, having everything completed, making sure you're using all the resources at your disposal. Some of you suffering in silence. Some of you, your sexiness has been shaken a bit because you're not moving and progressing in relationships as fast as you would like. I'm going to refer you right back to this shit up here. A lot of that has to do with you completing whatever portion of the transformation you need to complete. And I feel that energy right now, that a lot of us are finishing up a stage of transformation, and now we need to complete the cycle and walk into the light. No, I'm not talking about jumping out no damn window or getting into a car accident. No. But understanding and admitting to yourself you are going through some changes, and a change, if you will, and letting the door slam right back in the face of whoever it is you're trying to walk away from, whatever situation you're trying to walk away from, with all that hatred and toxic shit. I'm just saying. Suffering in silence. And when I was shuffling, before I got on camera, the Hermit card came up. And so that's exactly the picture I have in my mind right this minute. Suffering in silence because your confidence may be a little off because you're dealing with a bunch of nonsense. But, this energy should be going away. You see that 9 up there? And so this is really resonating back to 2019. Some of you may be still dealing with some issues, and you're not trying to make no big issue out of shit now. You're just trying to, not that you want to suffer in silence, but at this point, you're just trying to figure some shit out. And it's painful, especially if your self-confidence has been rocked to any greater or lesser degree. It's painful, especially if you have real feelings for somebody and they ignoring you or ghosting you or acting silly. Whoever this is resonating for now, just know the energy is not going to stay the same. And as sure as I say that, we at the end of the 3rd week. New beginnings and options. Figure that shit out on your own. New beginnings and options. A lot of you are going to have options besides the ones that you have now. So if you are in a situation and you just met somebody and you think this is it, hold on, hold up, hold the fuck up. You got options coming. And from those options, for some of you, and a lot of you may not even know what your options are because you don't know these people yet. And this is that kind of energy where you go to the store and you look a hot hell mess, and boom, there's Mr. Wonderful. And you still got the rollers in your head, got your hair wrapped up, you got your funky little sneakers on, you know what I'm saying. But just know, some of you think you got a bunch of options now, buckle up. Those of you that think you done found the one, buckle up. New beginnings. The energy is out there. So if you're single and you're looking, open yourself up to the energy, because the energy is on the board, it's in play. Many of you, more options than what you currently have. Be thoughtful in your decision making. And think about a risk. doing something to somebody that you wouldn't, or somebody that doesn't fit you as far as you're concerned. But what are they bringing to the table? And see, a lot of us are stuck in that. You gotta look this way. You're not tall enough, but the very thing that you need may be coming out of somebody that's short. I'm just saying. I'm just using that as an example, throwing it out there. We get to the last part of the month. Accelerated motion will only happen if your communication is clear. Understand, we're in Mercury retrograde energy. So the accelerated motion is going to happen. This is one of them flukes. But make sure your communication, especially where new lovers are concerned, make sure your communication is clear, because you don't want somebody walking around with the wrong idea, or maybe have the wrong perception of something. So be very clear in your communications, and especially at the end of the month with any love relationship type shit. If you are, the accelerated motion is happening anyway, but this is going to make it happen that much faster. The clearer you are about what you want, what your boundaries are, what's acceptable, what's not, the faster you taking off. And speaking of taking off, there he is, another major card. This is a big month. Stick your finger out the window. Which way is the wind blowing? Well, there he is. And many of you may even be in this energy now, where you were kind of getting down to the nitty gritty, resonating back for people choosing schools, medical schools, law schools, Ivy League colleges. Some of y'all are trying to get in so you can fit in and be it. This is this energy here. It's about going in a new direction. And so for a lot of you, this is going to be, the Hangman popped up when I was shuffling. He ain't on the board, but for maybe a small amount of you, it's going to be about changing your perspective on something or someone, so you can start moving in the direction of who you are. I'm just saying. The discontent and boredom, again, for a lot of you, it sure is the card before it is talking about accelerated motion. You still feel like you're moving through molasses. And so that just brings up discontent and boredom. It's like, damn, I can't do this, I can't do that. And hang on. Hang on. Just hang on. Figure out what direction you want to go in so you can move past this energy. It's here. All of us are going through it. I know it feels like you're walking through icy dog shit. I know. It's just awful. It's slushy. It's slow. You can't pick your feet up. You can't think. You're foggy in the head. All kind of shit going on right now. Communications screwed up. Electronical shit fucked up. It is what it is. Do your best to work through the energy and come past this. A lot of you are feeling discontent and bored. Like, what the hell? Nothing's happening. Start trying to figure out what direction you want to go in. And sometimes when we figure out what direction we want to go in, everything else will just fall into line. But when you're not sure, this energy at the end of the month, for some of you, it may even be now, about trying to figure out what direction you want to go in, options. And for some, this may be work. And this may have an entrepreneurial bent to it. Working with people or collaborating with people. There we go with the celebration card up here. You may have some options. Start thinking about it and try to just ride this shit. I know this anxiety-ridden bullshit. I feel you, but just kind of go with it. And while you just going through it, start figuring out, which way do I really want to go? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do both? How is resonating? At the end of all of this, it's that judgment shit. Making a decision. But in this deck, this also has a little bit to do with the humility of all of it. Especially forgiving. So as you're moving through this energy and you're making decisions and you're stepping into your own light. Oh, damn, did I say that? Sitting right up underneath the sun card over here. As you start moving into your own light, your true, authentic light, moving away from that 19 and into the 20. Come on, work with me, people. Yeah. Making decisions. But For a lot of you, it may be a thing where you need to forgive the people that if they're actual people that you're walking away from, lovers, friends, whatever. And there's a note of betrayal there. You may need to just go ahead and man up and just forgive them, not for them, but for you, so you can go into your future, into your own light, if you will, without all that baggage. Yep, I said it. Without all that baggage. Let's see what the Oracle cards got. What am I doing today? I'm doing Granny and Rebel cards just because I'm doing Granny and Rebel cards. Universe, give me some guidance for Taurus for February 2020, please. Well, let me just throw it down there. You don't want to be in there. And it says take a shot. I don't know what the back says because I haven't read the backs to all of these. I just got this here a couple weeks ago. But take a shot just from what I can feel off of it. And that is in the same row with the risk card, the Fool. I'm going to say it's got to have something to do with taking a risk. So let's just see. Take a shot. Oh. Don't take 12. Take 1. Maybe 2. And then move on. Those of you that are walking away, just take a shot. Maybe 1, maybe 2, and move on. There you go. Let's see. See what else we got. These Rebel cards are a trip. Some good shit is about to happen. Don't let your issues fuck it up. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? Okay, so it ain't even some of you. Just fuck it. You're going to have to forgive some folk and move on. Because if you don't, you're going to miss some good shit and you're going to fuck it up with some bullshit. I'm just saying. Man, cards don't lie. They just don't. They do not. Drop the fucking ego. Vulnerability is hot as fuck. Drop the fucking ego. Vulnerability is hot as fuck. Be your true self. Be your true self, regardless of what anybody is saying or doing. Okay, what's the bottle card say? You look like a shit show. You're a hot mess. Fact. Clean yourself up. And some of you going through this shit and not even talking about aesthetics. Really, just mentally looking like a hot mess because you're going through trying to process, emotional processing, trying to figure it all out and let it go. And a lot of you are doing a good job of it, but for some of you, it's just a struggle because you're trying to understand. Sometimes I'm trying to understand why people do things to us that's all fucked up. How come they disappoint us? How come they betray us and all the rest of this bullshit? Sometimes you just have to understand it ain't about you. Sometimes it's about the other person. And you may have been or may be a catalyst for them to go through the shit they need to go through to grow. Unfortunately, with all of that, if you have any kind of emotional attachment to anybody that's going through this type of thing, it's hard because you know you got to walk away because you know you're not going to be the one babysitting for the rest of their life while they trying to figure out which way they want to go. And you may see a lot of potential in a situation, but you know it'll never be because the person is just, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. And so your mind you may mentally be looking like a shit show because you're trying to process all of this. And that's painful energy to go through. Run now. That popped out. So whoever needs to hear that, run now. Fucking around with some shit that's toxic. Run now. Let's see what else we got. Do it because you want to. Do it because you want to. I'm pulling that on this. And I'm pulling this on this. Do it because you want to. Be your authentic self because it's you and because you want to be you and not somebody else. Determining what direction to go in. Do it because you want to, not because somebody else wants you to. I don't know if we needed to hear that, but okay. One more. Oh, yeah, I did this. You probably can't even see it, but it says, "Are they ghosting you?" Just saying. You never know. I don't know who that's for, but the question is, are they ghosting you? Maybe some of y'all are not trying to see the reality of the situation. So maybe that's a message for you to know that, yeah, think about other alternatives of what's really going on. Pray. Vibe check. Downtime. Learn. Learn what you need to. This shit up here. Dealing with folks. And that this is in your overall energy. It's on your mind. Period. It's in the air. It's there. So learn whatever nuggets you need to learn from these bad, toxic ass situations and fucked up work environments and fucked up boyfriends and girlfriends that don't do nothing but disappoint and act a fool and, you know, leave you swinging and holding the bag. Learn what you need to learn so you can move forward into some transformative type shit. I'm just saying. Downtime. Take some. Find it where you can find it. In the bathtub, in the car, singing with the radio. But just get you some downtime. Give your mind, again, all this emotional processing. Give your mind and your heart a break. You know what you're going to do. And some of you already know what you're trying to do. So there's no sense of overthinking it. Just take a break. Just listen to your intuition. That's just a friendly reminder. Vibe check. Whatever, especially decision making. Just make sure, you know, you're listening as best you can to what your body is telling you about whatever situation you're trying to make a decision on. At the end of all of this, if you can't do shit else, pray. Whatever you worship in, Jesus, God, Allah, Zimbabwe, whatever, head lettuce, whatever, don't matter. Pray. And when you pray, leave that shit there. And when you get up, keep moving. Let the Creator deal with it. Or whoever it is, whatever. The goddess, whoever. The Lord, the lady, don't matter. Whoever you're praying to, when you get done talking to them, leave it there and move on. This will help you kind of keep some perspective and keep some balance. I'm going to leave it here, Taurus. I love you dearly. I hope y'all have a wonderful February, a wonderful rest of the week. You will see me soon for the weekend update. Love y'all. Bye-bye.